Just to start, I really liked what Shepard was saying after the Commissioners Cup game, just about, this could be a reset from us, a learning point. I just guess I'm curious, with some time and just being able to go back and look at film, what are some of the things that maybe you guys are taking as lessons from that game?
Like how you prepare and how you come in, it's everything. Everybody brings a really great quality to a team. That's why it's fun to be a part of a team. But that requires you to bring your best, your focus every single day, and the great teams that I've been fortunate to be on and whatnot, they do that, and I think it was good for us to see that, a few things, like maybe mental errors, few things where we weren't, focusing quite as much. I'm guessing that's what Jess was alluding to. That this league is so good that you'll get beat, and so if wins and losses obviously happen throughout a year, but when you control what you can control, and I thought that obviously that game was good for us to learn from, just coming in, shoot around, focus, ready, bringing energy. And I feel really great because we brought that today, which was great.
Coach Reeve used the word impatient. How would you describe when maybe the offense isn't kind of clicking or firing how you would expect, against Washington and against Indiana?
Yeah, I think that this team is really good when there's ball movement, player movement, and I think that we're a team, maybe the best that I've been around in, finding the mistake within the possession. And so sometimes that's later though. So that impatient part that she's talking about, sometimes that's later in the shot clock when we've moved the ball, we've cut, we've been definitive. You find the mistake within the defense and you take advantage. And so, I thought that, like you said, a few of the games where teams have really ramped up their ball pressure because they know offensively that we have great players and we have a really free-flowing system. So, it's another point to learn of, just how to, maybe it's not there in the first option. We can get something on the backside. That's always when we're at our best. So, got some good work in that and shoot around today. And, now it'll be fun to see us execute and go out there and continue to work through that tonight.
What did you learn about these guys the last time that you played them in Washington?
Physical. Obviously their posts, crashing the glass and make a lot of hustle plays. Their young players are, they don't necessarily look like rookies. They're just they feel like they're kind of like seasoned players. Citron and Iriafen. That was the first time. I'd watched both of them in college and was up close watching Notre Dame a few times, but this first time I'd seen Kiki live. So just seeing their build, their stature, their athletic ability. Obviously Austin's playing great, and I just thought they hustled, they played extremely hard, and they're a group that's got some really young talent. And obviously I've played with and against Steph for a long time, so I know what she brings. She had that huge 3 in the fourth quarter, and I was just really impressed with what they've done.
Kind of on the note of just, again, you're breaking down the film from the last game and you're preparing for this next game. One of the things we've talked a lot about with Coach Reeve and the assistant coaches is sort of the chemistry between the coaching staff and how that's evolved over the course of the season. So I guess just between the last game and up until this next game, what does that look like in terms of who's taking what roles in terms of breaking down film, the scout for the next game? I'm just kind of curious about that.
Yeah, we all have our group of teams that we're scouting, we're preparing for, that somebody's the lead. But like you said, we're all breaking down film a lot for our position, the players that we're coaching and showing film. So, it's a lot of some individual stuff, and then watching film for me, with the point guards, watching a lot of film, and Becky and Eric and Safu and Seal, they have their film that they're watching with people, and then any kind of themes you see from the game, the previous game and whatnot, you're trying to maybe bring up, or trying to find different ways just to help. And so it's been fun though. It's a good group, and it's like anything, as players, you think about, okay, what could we have done differently? You think the same as assistant coach, head coach, like what you could have done as a staff. So yeah, we've had some good meetings, good conversations, and excited for the game tonight.
Talking with Fee about her All-Star captaincy nod, she joked with me, was like, yeah, I never got the All-Star starter recognition, just go straight to captain. Just as someone, you've known her for a while and obviously working with her this year, like how, for a superstar that hasn't gotten enough recognition for like the majority of her career, what does it mean to just, see her get that captaincy nod as one of the top two, vote getters for that game?
Shows how you, like when you work really hard and you continue to improve your game and you take it to different levels with how efficient she is and things, that it pays off, So I think it's, in that draft, that was obviously a great draft, and where she was, picked, now she's, one of, if not the best player in the game, So it's shows that when you work really hard and you're about the right things and you play the right way and you're about the right things, like you can be named a captain of an All-Star game, or you can, be a part of, last Olympics and different things like that, lead your team to the finals. So, but it's not easy, it's not easy. It's why she's a captain. There's two of them, out of the whole league. So, yeah, it's not easy. There's a lot of days where, nobody's watching, where she's in the gym, she's working, she's taking care of herself, and so she's talking about Yuffie, very, very deserving.
She's beautiful. She's so talented.
Yeah.
She's the smartest person I've ever met. More.
Said coach.
Is there a bit of a kind of a relief that you get past a mid-season tournament like that, a little bit of a hangover effect? Like, okay, now we can kind of refocus and kind of, because the emotions are so high, and now you can kind of get to more of a normal feeling.
Well, that's my first time being a part of, like, in the WNBA. We had different, like, cups in Europe where it's like a, kind of a tournament within the season. So this is my first time with the WNBA. So obviously I think it was, we'd like to come out on the other side, and but for us, great learning experience of, like, the day, the game, and whatnot, and so anything throughout the year you try to take and learn from. And I know there was obviously, trophy and this and that, and it's a cool thing for the league, for the fans, for the players, and so I think you take what you can, you learn from it. Obviously played against a really good team, but then you just, the next morning you turn the page to the next game or your next scout and just kind of keep it pushing.
And now go for the real trophy.
Well, and that's, and it's just what you're doing now, the day-to-day, that obviously we all know, like, leads to that, because now that's, like, really far away, it feels like. So now it's just focusing on the getting better in the day-to-day.
Thank you, Ray.
All right, thanks, guys. Yeah.